Sleep paralysis. I have posted on here before about my friend from work and his younger self's experience when walking his dog in a park. Recently, he told me a few things that have happened in his new home. He's been living there a year now. Stay with me for this as I find it's interesting and definitely weird. He has a 4-year-old son and said that after moving into the house, his son spoke of a person called Oscar. They didn't know anybody called Oscar, nor does his son, and he was still homeschooled until recently. His son mentioned that Oscar lived in the house. My friend asked his son what Oscar looked like. To which he replied, "He's a big boy daddy, not as big as you. But he's a big boy daddy." My friend asked his son what Oscar does. His son badly described that this Oscar raises and clenches his fist, grits his teeth and shakes his fist in anger. My friend told his son to not play with Oscar. He mentioned this Oscar for 4 months and then it seemed to end. Ever since then, my friend has heard knocking/banging at the front door during the night and always goes to investigate. He's an ex-Marine commando. Finding no intruder and returning to bed, it would happen again. Since then he had an experience of sleep paralysis. This is something he said has happened in the past, but extremely rare for him. He woke during the early hours of the morning and could barely move, only his fingers and eyes. He said that he instantly saw a dark shadow figure walking away from his side of the bed. His first thought was this is a spirit, he just instantly knew. He said he moved his fingers to flip the bird at the shadow. To which is turned around and proceeded to grab his hand and shove it down his throat. He came round to his fiancée shaking him and saying he was making choking noises and had his arm and hand raised near his mouth, just not in it. Since then he has experienced what he describes as running round his house at night. Investigating the noise to prove nothing was there, his son in bed and a cat asleep downstairs. He said one evening after investigating noises of running on the hard floor downstairs, once he was back in bed, he heard the footsteps enter his room and stop, as if somebody jumped to a stop at the foot of his bed where he lay. He looked up to see nothing. What do you think this is? Imagination? A spirit haunting the house? I believe my friend has an affinity to spirits as throughout his life he has experienced things from a young age. Which I will share in due course. Some of them experiences sound terrifying.